Hello, America. Is anyone out there? Anyone? Anyone? This is Sean Bianca, GOP girl with true news for President Trump. Anyone out there? Say that you're there so I know somebody's out there. And I'll start. But a lot of you may be watching Judge Janine. All right. Again, this is Sean Bianca, GOP girl with true news for President Trump and Clean TV Live. Stop. Just stop covering the protesters. Stop with the madness. Fox News, I am begging you, stop giving the protesters what they want. I have had it. America has had it. We are sick and tired of watching the protesters that didn't get their way. They didn't get their Hillary Clinton criminal in as president so that they could continue getting the freebies and continue getting their illegal immigrant relatives in the country. Stop. Stop covering the protesters. We have had it. You're giving them the coverage they want. Now, we all know what protesters are doing. We all know they're yelling. We know they're holding signs. We know they're saying they don't like Trump. We know they're saying they don't like the temporary ban on immigration. We know all this. But you are feeding into it. You know mainstream media, the rest of mainstream media is going to be covering the protesters. Fox, step up to the plate and be the bigger man. Be the bigger and better man and step up to the plate, support our president, and stop covering the protesters now. Because I can assure you, if you stop giving them the coverage they want, you know what? They will stop protesting because there's nobody out there watching. I mean, they have no problem disrupting Americans' lives. They are disrupting the lives of people trying to get home from work, trying to get to a hospital. On and on it goes. They are disrupting our lives. Why? Because they didn't get the president of their choosing? Well, you know what? I didn't get the president of my choosing 4 years ago. I didn't get the president of my choosing 8 years ago. But I didn't take to the streets. I didn't march. Okay, you had your Women's March. You had, you have done more than your fair share of protesting against Trump. It is time to stop, and I am begging Fox News to stop covering them. Do a little blurb in your Fox News website and talk about the protesters if you want and how much damage they did, but don't give them the coverage because you know what? They're taking away the rights, freedom of speech. At UC Berkeley, Milo Yiannopoulos, a right-wing conservative speaker, attempted to speak, and he was not allowed to speak because of the protesters at UC Berkeley. They were throwing things. They were throwing Molotov cocktails. They were dressed as ninjas. Come on, people. They did not allow a right-wing conservative to speak. So you know what, Fox News? You take away the left's freedom of speech because they have no problem taking away ours. And then NYU, we had a right-wing speaker by the name of Gavin McInnes Thursday night. 11 people were arrested. At least 11 people were arrested at NYU that protested. However, at UC Berkeley, I watched a young girl with a Trump Make America Great Again hat get sprayed with pepper spray by a leftist, by one of these ninja people. And by the way, one of the ninja people that was throwing things and throwing Molotov cocktails has been found to be an actual employee of UC Berkeley. Interesting, isn't it? But we all know that the educational system in this country has gone completely liberal, and everyone in the educational system is trying to brainwash the children of our tomorrow's children, or rather our children of tomorrow. They're trying to brainwash into being liberals. I've had it. So Fox News, stop. Stop with the insanity. Right now, we have President Trump at Mar-a-Lago at the Red Cross ball doing good, trying to raise money, and we have these idiots that are protesting in West Palm Beach. First of all, I'd like to ask Palm Beach, the city of Palm Beach, why didn't you just put up the bridge? I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out the best way to deter the terrorists. That was a Freudian slip. Yes, you know what? These protesters are as bad, if not worse, than terrorists because they are a threat to our nation. I've had it with the protesters. I've had it with turning on the news and watching these people moan and groan because they didn't get their way. You know what? There's a 5-year-old in Idaho. 5-year-old in Idaho, and I'll be putting up a blog that'll come out tomorrow morning about this. 5-year-old girl in Idaho was raped by 3 Muslim boys. I'm not going to go into the specifics because this is clean TV, but it wasn't pretty. And unfortunately, this family does not have the money to move. So they are forced to live next to one of the people who are the parents of the child, one of the children that raped this young 5-year-old. This young 5-year-old was raped at knife point. So I'd like to ask the protesters, what is the Muslim's life worth more than a young American girl's life? I've had it. I know you're upset because President Trump put a temporary ban on those immigrants, on those persons coming. It was not a Muslim ban, by the way. I've read the executive order. What it was is it was a ban. It was an executive order banning persons coming from nations that have threatened to do harm to the United States of America and its people. Our president is trying to keep us safe, and meanwhile, we have complete heathens and thugs out in the streets across America raising havoc because they don't like our president. Enough. Enough. The fact is, right now we have a judge that is trying to undermine President Trump. Judge James Robart. Well, you know what? He is disobeying the laws of our Constitution. A judge is to interpret, and a judge is supposed to impose our laws of our Constitution. He is not supposed to make his own laws. It is within the president's right to ban persons coming from countries that happen to be members of organizations that threaten the United States of America. And by the way, libs, but I know none of the snowflakes watch me. Some of you do, I guess. By the way, the countries that were banned, those are all the countries that were banned, that were in a list banned by President Obama. I didn't see you protest then. No, I didn't see you then. I've had it. Fox News, stop covering the protesters. Again, stop. America has had it. America has had it with liberals that are whining and crying and yelling and acting like complete animals because they didn't get their way. You know what I have to say to them? If you don't like America, why don't you take a one-way trip ticket, get a one-way trip ticket to Iran? Or why don't you go to Iraq? Or why don't you go to Libya, Somalia? Go to any of those Muslim countries. And for the gay community, I don't understand it. I have gay friends that support Trump. And I also have gay friends that don't support Trump. I don't understand why any gay person would not support President Donald Trump. Because the Quran does not allow for homosexuals to be homosexual. They kill them, they throw them from buildings, and they behead them. So if anyone should be supporting President Trump, it should be the gay community. But you know what? I urge urge you to take a trip to the Mideast and go over there. Hold hands with your lover. Hold hands with your gay husband or your gay wife. Do it. Do it. See how far you get. And ladies, I urge you to go over there and protest Sharia law. You think Sharia law, is that what you want? Because by your not allowing our president to keep these people out of our country, you are preventing our president from protecting our people and our Constitution. Because the bottom line is most Muslims living in this country have not assimilated and would rather live under Sharia law. So ladies that don't like President Trump, why don't you go to the Mideast and protest Sharia law? Because those women, you're covered up to here. You're not allowed to speak out against the government. You're not allowed to speak to your husband. You're not allowed to leave your husband. I did a blog long ago about a woman that was beheaded in, I believe, Vermont or New Hampshire because she wanted to leave her husband. It's happened here. Enough. Fox News, stop covering the protesters and giving them what they want. And people, tomorrow night, when you're watching the Super Bowl, boycott the Super Bowl halftime show. If you can, boycott the whole Super Bowl. I know, not an easy thing to do, but you know what? Personally, I think college football is a whole lot more exciting than professional football. The guys are giving it everything they've got. But if you must watch the Super Bowl, then boycott the Super Bowl halftime show, because we all know Lady Gaga is going to give a political rant, and I've had it with Hollywood giving their political rants. And boycott the Academy Awards. If you can, boycott everything that has to do with Hollywood. Don't go to any movies. Don't buy any magazines. Boycott all of Hollywood. If Hollywood doesn't want to support our president, then you know what? I don't think we should support them. All right, everyone. Again, Fox News, stop covering the protesters. Stop it. If you stop giving them the coverage they want and they so desire, I think they'll stop with their protesting because they want Americans to see how distressed they are. Oh, and that's right. The judge that is undermining President Trump, speaking of distressed, he said that the temporary ban on people coming from the 7 nations that Donald Trump temporarily banned was distressing the people of Washington and Minnesota. You know what? Just as a footnote, Minnesota has a large Muslim community, and this judge stands with Black Lives Matters. Alrighty then. Thanks for watching. This is Sean Bianca with True News for President Trump and Clean TV Live. Have a great night, everyone. Bye-bye.